Listen, I don't know about you, but I started a business so I could do this. Travel, be with friends, be with family, create memories. I didn't do it to sit at the computer all day. I didn't do it so that I could just be in countless emails and Zoom meetings. I did it to create opportunities for myself and opportunities for others. So listen, if that's something that interests you, enjoying time with your friends, being out and about, definitely drop by Erica Williams' Classy Climb blog. Check out the YouTube channel. We've got over 2,000 videos of free information that's actually changed people's lives. People actually post their new jobs, their new careers, their new businesses all the time over at the channel. What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Fresh back from the Houston takeover. You may have seen some photos online or Instagram at All Roads RE. If you go to my Instagram page, we put up a couple different things up there. But come on in, drop your city and state in the chat. We'd love to hear from you. Two of the things I put in there in the land grab course, because I'm gonna do a lot of training in there this week. And then I also put in there the confidence challenge. I think a lot of people are struggling from lack of confidence in themselves. And that's where we have a lot of our problems that we don't want to talk about. But let's put it there. All right, that's pinned to the top. You can see that. All right, so what is the title? You're probably like, oh, where's she going to go with this? This is going to be a very business focused, but off the rails focused. So prepare yourself, okay? Chinese podcasters need certifications. The rise of Scallywags. Say no to an online MBA. Now you're going to say, whoa, Erica, what's going on? I think what Americans don't realize is never before had there been a million ways to make $1 million. Back in the day, your pop went to the factory and your pop paid for the house, and grandma grew a victory garden, and y'all had fresh food, and y'all made do. They budget, and that was the life. Now you're constantly bombarded by online options, which most of you don't want to take. Let's just go there. The reason people applauded when they found out, let me see if I get to it, that Chinese make people have certifications, right? They've already all of a sudden, yeah, y'all need these certifications. Now, this is how, and the black people clapping like seals embarrassed me. And y'all gonna be like, Erica, don't be harsh today. I have to be. Now we're gonna start this show off, and I'm gonna clarify what is the definition of a scallywag. In the comments, most of y'all are gonna think of Captain Jack Sparrow from all those movies. There's different ways to spell scallywag. It's SCALA wag, right? Or it, we put scallywag, which is SCALLY wag, right? Now, scallywag's true definition is a person who behaves badly, but in an amusing, mischievous, rather than harmful way, aka a rascal. Right? Now, before after slavery, let's just go there, Reconstruction, 1910s, 1920s, scallywag used to mean, just a rascal, a silly person. Look at that scallywag. It started to mean, after Reconstruction, Southern white people who were welcoming the Northern white people by being like, hey, how you doing? Dressing around like a KFC chicken man and all white. Welcome to the South, baby. Hello. And they would do business with them. And the Southern whites hated it. So that became a word they used as you bad scallywag. And the person from the North coming to make money off the South after the Civil War was called a carpetbagger. And see, when you don't sit down and your parents don't talk to you if you're not from the South, when you don't have real education on where you live, because some people move around, and what makes me sick to my stomach is New Yorkers who live in the South and then tell you all the day and night about New York. They ain't been to New York but once a year to see their grandma, and then the rest of the time their grandma comes south because it's cheaper for her too. I've been to New York more times than the people that live in New York as a kid till 5 years old and grew up the rest of the time in the South. Okay, so stop it, knock it off. I know one kid who grew up down here from 13 on, and he literally packed up and went back to New York. I actually want to applaud him when he graduated high school, because I said, how many people don't? And then they're going to tell me their whole life they a New Yorker. It's disgusting. Because they don't even know the city, much less its history. right? So then now they're in a new city, not knowing that city's history, and it's pathetic. It just is what it is. You're gonna be like, damn, America, that's kind of harsh. That's like when I moved to Texas. I didn't talk about certain cities unless I knew how to pronounce their names. I did everything I could to learn about Dallas, to learn about Houston, to learn about Austin. I'd go to conferences and events. I'd ask other Texans. I would be real inquisitive because that is what you do when you're a guest in someone's house. That's why I put up a picture where I say I'm the best transplant 10 years running, right? Because when you come to someone's house and you're a guest, you put on your best effort. You educate yourself. You study, right? So people can get mad at me with that and go what they want with it. But this is right here what made me sick to my stomach. Oh, China now regulates influencers must have degree or some credible certification to discuss professional topics such as law, medicine, finance, and education. Let me be very clear. This is coming to America. And the black people running around clapping like seals are the first to get hit in the head. Because if it wasn't for COVID, and I already know I'm gonna get a hit on the channel. If it wasn't for C-19, if it wasn't for these lockdowns, if it wasn't for the 2020, everybody's like, oh, everybody's scamming. These people have no discernment. I love when David Williams put up in his page, like, some of y'all at these crazy pimp hole picture, places, hole in the wall churches talking about. I gotta stop myself before I get up hype. Y'all don't have discernment. That's all I'm gonna say. That's why these AI videos, I already have aunts and uncles sending me AI videos, and I'm like, that's not real. Fix your glasses. But the reason people are like, yeah, we need this in America. Yeah, all this misinformation out there. These are the same scallywags that were in class, not listening, being class clowns, disrupting everybody else, doing all this goofy stuff. If it wasn't, you know how many educated, certified, college degree having people came online during the C-19 and picked at it and were kicked offline, booted from their jobs, removed out of places, only 2-3 years later go, oops, our bad. You were actually correct. There was a doctor who was talking about vitamin D was this magical cure, and they were almost going to strip his license away. And they had to come back years later and go, our bad. Yeah, you're right. The top 4 things that killed somebody was if they had low vitamin D, they had high blood pressure, they had diabetes, and they were overweight. Yeah, if you had those 4, it took you out of here. And the whole time, people like clapping like seals. Yeah, these people making money off us. Because the average person was at free public education, was not paying attention. If I actually go get a transgender studies major to come on here and talk about transgender problems and how most of those people end up in the incarceration system and end up scamming because they cannot get a regular job because their driver's license is a man, but they're coming in there dressed in a wig. Right? I'm not trying to get my channel kicked off, but if you really actually talk to people who study this stuff, how it's a pipeline problem for these people because they can't get a job. Okay. Stay focused. Stay focused on the chat. Thank you for the super chat, but stay focused. I'll answer that way later, not right now. That's a whole thing. Yes, I would love to hear a transgender study person come in and talk on that who has a certification. But ultimately, the reason Black people know about Navy Federal Credit Union, all these credit cards, getting this business funding, right? Okay. Right? All these people know how to start an LLC and we make fun of it. All these people are exposed to credit cards and stocks. I had people come to my boat party the first year and say, I bought stocks because of you for my grandchildren. Y'all, I'm not a stock expert. I went to school for business and financial, but I'm not a stock expert. And what you're going to pull back to cover on a lot of this, it's a lot of goofy scallywags running around talking, right? Right? I am about to get a call. I'm tiptoeing the line. You got a bunch of scallywags out here saying, "Oh, that was a scam. Everything's a scam. I can't save 20% down for a house." I've told y'all for years, it's 5,000 mortgage programs out there. Right? I've told people who are mortgage lenders, if you just sit down and start an Instagram page and talk about all the mortgage programs there's available and put it in ebooks. I sold on this channel for years the down payment assistance guys that Kendra Barnes put together. I'm talking about thousands and thousands of sales where people are like, oh, I didn't know North Carolina had this and Texas had that. The average, oh boy, let me calm down. The average person that if they follow this, the only way this makes sense is China wants more people to go get some certifications and get student loan debt. The only way this makes sense in America is a bunch of these people going to go back to college and get student loan debt and get community college certificates. So that will pump up college enrollment for sure. But let's get to the grit of it. People like who they like. I've seen Asians start channels and blow up because they're talking about credit cards, and you trust Asian people with math. Let's go there. Black people, cool. If it's cool, if it's athletes, if it's music, it's getting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views because it's goofy talk. And Black people are cool. So we want to steal the cool stuff they say. And they're right. If Black people say something's cool, it's cool here, it's cool in Switzerland, it's cool in Nigeria, because they're going to ask us, is it cool? Point blank period. Latinos get all these labels of hard work, but if you actually come on this internet, so many people will tell you about their Latino son not working, the Latino dad being lazy, the Latino grandma being lazy, the Latino family member sponging off them. But because y'all buy into these stereotypes, you can't even get to know real people. That's why all these goofies is going down to South America. I'm trying to find a wife. When 70% out of wedlock birth is in South America, y'all. Your sexy, spicy, feisty Latina is a single mom that you are running from America and be like, well, she gonna be happy about me. She gonna be happy I got $2 to give her. Yeah, she gonna be real happy because she sees a sucker coming down the road. So yes, we need to regulate these podcasts. But what's going to happen is Black people in particular, you are going to lose it. You're going to lose this access to making 100 to 300,000 a year. I say this not as a joke. I know too many people who are goofies in real life, scallywags in real life. They have come on this YouTube and made an Instagram and made 100,000, 300,000, 400,000. Now, the problem is the pandemic's over. Have these scallywag people, right? Have they gone and invested in themselves in courses and classes and how to save their money on taxes and taking it to the next step? A percentage, but not many. But I want you to understand I'm telling you, this is number one way. This social media has been a number one way to make so many African-American people up to 100K a year. As quiet as kept as me. Write-offs as they keep is, the income levels of Black people are down. The amount of Black people I know from the pandemic, I'm telling you about 50. I could put them in a room who made over $10 million during the pandemic. They would have never made $10 million in their whole adult life. They would have never made $10 million. Even if they were in the height of their careers, they would have never made $10 million. And all they had to do was come get a microphone, get a camera, have nice, shiny video, and talk to y'all. But Black people out here like, yeah, clapping like seals. Yeah, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Somebody said, I never seen a different lazy man. Baby, that's not true. Go look up the Eggers. Google all these moms on social media complaining about the Eggers playing video games, joining gangs, even though gangs played out in 1990s. We just had a woman in Houston. Her 16-year-old son shot up the house, and he was mad because they got on about his report card. He shot up the house with his mom and his siblings and his stepdad in it because he was mad about the report card. Please don't let people fool you. Please don't let them fool you about the Mexicans, baby. They have there's countless videos of women Mexicans and Latinas, not just Mexican, but Venezuela, all these other cultures, who they had 4 or 5 brothers, and their mom finally had them as a kid. They're 9 years old cleaning the whole house with their mom with 4 brothers. Nobody's cleaning up except for them. And the brothers aren't working. They making dinner, they feeding, come on, man, knock it off. Ooh, knock it off. Just like they out there, knock it off. It's too many stories. Knock it off. But what bothers me about this is in America, we've given people the open door. Hey, there's a million ways to make money. You will go right now and find some Black person in some town like, oh, Lord Jesus, there's just no way to make money. We's all broke down here. We's all struggling down here. You'd be like, what are you talking about? You're 20 minutes from Charleston, South Carolina. You can go work in any restaurant. You can go do anything. Man, come on, man. Like this the stuff people be trying to tell me that there's Venezuela, like the Venezuelans are the N-words of the Latino community. Like if we were in Panama, they hated Venezuelans. We were in another country, they hated Venezuelans. Everywhere we went, they were like, oh, dang, the Venezuelans coming. It's not funny, but I just want people to let that go, that they're just the most hardworking people. Like The Mexicans don't even like the Venezuelans. They're like, they do shitty work. They do bad work. So this ideal that every Latino person, again, it is a stereotype. Do they work hard? Hell yeah. But it's a stereotype. They have some other issues too. They're notoriously known for second families. Notorious. Right? But again, people are going to listen to people they like. I remember people asking Ty Lopez questions, and I'm like, he ain't got no degree in accounting. He can't tell you that answer. But I remember people being on Glendon Cameron's channel asking him stuff that he was like, I don't know anything about that. Why are you asking me? Because people like who they like. They will not listen to some certified, what black people call nerd, come out here and say, hey, this is what the law says. They're going to go, anyway, show me somebody else. Because they're constantly looking for scallywags. This is why you have Kevin Hart's and the jokers and the streamers, and people are like, oh man, did you see what they were doing? No. Someone I love watches Joe Budden. I'm like, Joe Budden, he's a goof now, but he's a smart goof, right? He's a smart goof. Listen, if you're willing to do some chores, you can find a spicy Latina right there in Florida. Her family ain't gonna never like you, but they gonna put your baby in some Latino clothes and teach them Spanish. But I'm just telling y'all, like this. I know people who chase Asian girls in America. He finally married one. She don't know how to cook, not near Asian dish. Her family be clowning her, talking about she don't know how to cook. But people really get obsessed with these stereotypes. They get, oh, they're gonna be a good wife because she's Asian. That's retarded. But you have to realize, like, I was in the airport the other day, and I got a whole nother show on the airport. I'll say that for tomorrow. But I was in the airport, and I was like, oh, well, why do we need to take our shoes off? This is a Litos machine. This is a blah machine. He's like, do you work for TSA? I said, no, I just know these machines. I travel a lot. And then I switched it. I said, I'm a contractor. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, keep your shoes on. Go ahead, keep your hat on. And I laughed because what he was basically saying, and the best way to say it is, everybody in here is walking like a zombie through TSA. I'm asking, why are we doing this when the machine is qualified to, it's a type of machine that reads through the bag. And as soon as I said it, he was like, oh, okay, well then I know I can't pull her some BS. I can't pull her some, like, go ahead and go through the line, ma'am. And then I had my foot on the line. The guy was like, straighten your feet up. I was like, dude, I have crooked feet. Born with crooked, broken feet. What you gonna do? He apologized. I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm like, get your ass on. The feet don't have to be on the line. Stop the goofy stuff. But this is people who want permission in life. What they're saying is, I need permission to talk about the topics I care about. I don't have permission. No one's giving me permission to talk about stupid stuff all day. So yeah, these people need to have licenses to talk about this. Y'all wouldn't listen to the person who has a license, and you know it. That's why it's so comical. All these black people are doing this. When this is, I'm telling you, hands down, when I started Digital Liberty Warriors, I said, if I could tell so many black people who were actually in, had a skill, had a something, right, that they could come over here and make $300,000 a year and change their life. I know so many white people that basically barely finished high school and have made $1 million a year consistently off YouTube for 5 years. And they're just following you around in their company. So many credit repair white boys who've just run ads for a little bit. They run ads for a couple months of the year, boom, and get on. Right? They run ads for a little bit, then boom, get gone, and they go live their life all summer. Like I told y'all, when I met these two white girls who literally and don't get it twisted on the Asians. I've had an ex-Korean boyfriend, and don't get it twisted. I'm from military towns. We've got Asian people in our family. So, even if they see this, Momo and them see this, they'll be fine. What's going on out there is people who barely scratched the surface, but were willing to educate themselves on YouTube, made us a lot of money. Robbie, that I ran track with here at Jackbird High School, he's been on here for years, making tons of money. He would not that he would have never, but he would have never made $500,000 for 10 years in a row. Doing what? Doing graphic arts, graphic design? Come on, man. Like, and for the black people out here clapping like seals, it's embarrassing because this is one of the fastest ways. It will always be the fastest way. There are white people that have been coaching for 50 years. Tony Robbins been coaching his whole life, and they're like, where's his certifications? Tony Robbins ain't got no certifications. Tony Robbins don't got no certifications. Did you know they teach people how to do public speaking? They don't have no certifications. You're going to connect with who you want to connect with. And so this is why I want y'all to let this go. The whole alternative news during the election and before, when you watch the news and the math didn't math, the first thing in your head was that don't make sense. So you went looking for the answer. I'm telling you now, for the next 24 months, what you're going to see is the most robust sales of supplements, teas, loose leaf tea, and Chinese herbal medicine that you've ever seen. You're going to start seeing the most content on gardening from home that you've ever seen. You're going to see the most content that you're going to call the grandma content that you've ever seen. Because this is the rise of the scallywag. It's a guy or girl who just has a townhouse and he basically is growing all these vegetables in his backyard. People are like, tell me how to do it. Because y'all weren't listening to the school teacher. You weren't listening at school when it was for free. So if I bring somebody out here and say they got a degree, you're not. Come on, man. Come on. And I have no beef with him. I've talked to him on the phone. I've spoke with him. There's no disrespect there, but half his audience is uneducated. And they know it. Yeah, he got them people. There are 14 to 15 white channels of Baller Busters and other channels where they're completely attacking white gurus all day and all night. These same black people have never walked over there. Why? Because they are believing in their heart and mind that black people is bad. Black people do bad. Black people steal. Black people kill. Like you talk to these people, you think they're third grader. Well, yeah, black people bad. Black people hurt people. And you'd be like, have you not seen? Have you not looked anywhere else? No, because they're obsessed with hating themselves. They don't like themselves. There's a billionaire who just got pushed off the mountain because his son pushed him off. And they finally figured out a year later, well, he might have not failed. His son might have pushed him. And they're finally investigating it. Man, knock it off. Knock it off. It's crazy. If you don't have a cert to start a business, then you're unqualified. All these people, when you ask them, how Dionne Ward called one of them white girls scallywag back in the day on Apprentice, almost passed out. Come on, man. You already know. I could go a long way with this. I'm a dip over to the left. I got to calm down. Let me calm down. How long have we been telling people AI and automation will eliminate jobs since February 2021? Nobody listen. Oh, I'm gonna read that too. I'm gonna read that to you in a second. So you mean to tell me Kevin Samurai and Gaines don't have 6? No. And that's the beauty of America. That if I'm just and people hate this who are introverts, and y'all get over yourselves. We don't care. But if I'm out here I've educated myself, I've improved myself, I've made myself better, I promote, I talk, I should be rewarded. That is how we are in a merit-based system. Now somebody's gonna say, well, Erica, I'm a great this and that, I'm super knowledgeable, but I'm an introvert. You have to use what's best for you. YouTube is one of the best homes for introverts. Half these people you see online are introverts. When you go meet them at VidCon and Vid Summit, they're sweating, they're about to pass out. If you talk to them too long, they'll be like, yeah, okay. That's why it's comical to me that these people think they're going to meet rich men and rich women. How? You sweat when your hands shake. You just, hi. Like, bro, are you all right? You about to cry? It happens all the time. I'm not, y'all think I'm joking. It happens all the time. So let me go over here. let me go. Let me slide out from over here real quick. Let me slide from over here. But the overall theme is the rise of the scallywags. This right here, I'm going to show y'all this. Now they're posting this. Yeah, she's giving it all away. Okay. She's worth $41 billion. So she gives Alabama State $38 million. Why is this important? Alabama State, among many other Alabama schools, have been fighting to get the money that Alabama State owes them, which is in the millions. So whoever went over and knocked on the door said, hey, tell her to go ahead and drop this money so we can name a building after her. Right? She's been going around dropping millions at multiple historical black colleges. Now people will say, oh, she's giving his money away. She helped him build that company. She's worth $41 billion. So what? She gives $38 million away. It's a tax write-off, y'all. It's a tax write-off. Y'all act like this woman is Jesus because she donating to the schools. Is she not? Do you know how much interest her money is making at $41 billion? Like some of this stuff. Come on, y'all. The interest on interest that her money makes. She could give out 38 million to all the HBCUs, all 108 of them. And she'd be straight. Her money's still somewhere making money. I've literally told y'all, I can show y'all 4 or 5 people who show their accounts and like, yeah, I put 10 million in and now I have another 10 million because money compounds on money compounds. But y'all not ready for that conversation. Let's get on out of here. Let me go to the next. Let me delete that one. Oh wait, oops, my bad. Hold on. This guy right here, I'm gonna show, and I'm picking on a series of people. So don't take it personal. Okay? Please don't take it personal. This isn't, I want y'all to understand this is the rise of the Scallywags, where people think, yeah, that's so funny, mischievous, it's like the stuff y'all think is just comical to me. Let me start with where is it at? Okay, let me start with this one. Because y'all be like, Erica's a leader. Oh my God. Yeah, I am. That's fine. So this is Sean Santos. Again, former military, was a personal trainer. Again, most common theme, y'all don't understand. Had a house in California. Inflation increased 2020. Sold that house, moved to Utah. Okay. Bought a house in a starter home community. The house, the difference of the money from California to Utah was so big that they were able to buy a brand new home there as well in Utah, right? And he was able to say, hey, honey, you're a nurse. Keep working, maybe twice a week. And let me start this Instagram thing. Made millions of dollars. Now you're going to say, well, would you learn from a personal trainer? A former military dude that became a personal trainer? I can tell you right now, my personal trainer ended up getting government contracts in the millions. But what happens is he's funny on here. He does a lot of goofy stuff. He does some Christian hardcore stuff right now. But if you look on here, a lot of his stuff is just having some comedy, getting a good laugh in. And one of his most famous things is him wiping the tables and counters. Why? Because people will love seeing a man wipe tables and counters and clean up. Y'all think I'm joking? Go look at all the pages where men are wiping the counter, sweeping and mopping. People be like, oh, I love it. They're about to cry seeing a man be clean and organized. I don't know what type of men y'all around. All the men I know, the man I'm with, he's very clean, very organized, cooked dinner. Shit. I don't know what's wrong with these people. Okay. But this is where people are. So he did a 40 days, 40 verses challenge. You should see the men in there like, I've never bought a Bible. I'm buying one because of you. His page is about digital products and digital services. But when he throws that razzle dazzle in there, people love it. People love it. Okay. So yeah, he went real hardcore on the Christian stuff here. But if you go down to his oldest page, it's all jokes. It's all jokes. Yeah, look at me. I'm posting stuff online. Same 7, 8, 9 posts. But that's what people love. People love the scallywag content. They want you to be funny and comical. Not realizing this man is in a whole neighborhood with his kids and his wife laughing all the way to the bank. Y'all not ready for this. Y'all not ready for the combo. It's all good. I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know. Let me get you some more scallywags because there's different versions of scallywags. I want to pull up as many scallywags as possible. And the versions of scallywags. So y'all don't be like, oh, Erica's kind of mean. No. Let me get to this one. Let me show you this one. Now, this brother right here joined the military. Now, you can be like, oh, Erica here with the military. Lifestyle, marriage, and money. Millennial husband sharing the blueprint for growth. He going to tell you what the blueprint is. He came from a home where both of his parents in and out of jail. He met this girl. She come from a 2-parent home in the Maryland area. Y'all know what time it is. And her family was like, you got to tighten it up to be with our daughter. And he's tightened it up ever since. So let's go ahead and play this for y'all.
Help you become financially stable. Let's talk about it. Joining the Air Force was hands down the best financial decision I've ever made. And it's not just because of the steady paychecks or free healthcare, but because of the resources it gave me. I was 20 years old when I joined, and I had nothing at that time. So for starters, my college was covered through tuition assistance, so I completed 3 degrees and 1 certificate. And my wife even got access to a scholarship program designed for military spouses where she completed her master's degree for free. I started investing early through the TSP, which is basically a retirement account like a 401k with government matching. We bought our first home with a VA loan, no down payment, no PMI, and I was able to sell that same home 2 years later, which made me over $50,000 in equity, giving us a foundational savings account. Add in the housing allowance, tax-free benefits, store discounts, and financial literacy courses, and I wasn't surviving, I was building. I joined as a health services administrator and later decided to go to medical school to become a doctor, and the Air Force covered every school expense. Recently, I decided to get out the Air Force to continue my entrepreneur endeavors as an influencer and business owner, so my time in service is coming to an end. But none of it would be possible without my time as an airman. The Air Force gave me stability, but more importantly, it gave me options, and that's what real freedom looks like.
How did you be?
Now y'all can go look at his page. Y'all can go hear his story, but he's on here telling you a story of how basically his parents was in and out of jail, and it wasn't till he met her and his family was like, "Hey," her family was like, "Hey, this is what you gonna have to do. This is what you gonna have to do. This is how you gonna get. Hey, you gonna tighten up. You want to date our daughter? You gotta tighten up. This is what she's expecting." Now people gonna say, "Well, that's just crazy," but go watch their page. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to listen to me. You don't have to. Again, I'm just saying. People want to be scallywags and bums their whole life and then all of a sudden do a magical turnaround at 35 or 45. That does not happen. Erica, anything's possible. Anything is possible. Jesus can do all. But usually your habits have been built in. I'm going to get some more here.
Marrying the right person can change the trajectory of your life like you wouldn't believe. I grew up in a single parent household, in the hood, with no father in the picture, so the odds were definitely stacked against me. All of the things that would have given me a chance of having a good future, like resources, good education, family wealth, and access, none of that stuff was in reach for me. And less than 40% of black males in my position even graduate college. So for kids like me, the stats say it's unlikely to succeed. But then I married the right person, somebody who held me accountable, believed in me, and built with me, not against me. And because of that partnership, I became a 2-time homeowner starting at 24. I walked across that stage multiple times, broke into 6 figures by 25, and I've traveled the world every year since we've met. The truth is, marriage can hold you back or push you forward. It all depends on who you choose. When you marry right, it doesn't just add value to your life, it multiplies your future.
All right, there's about 10 pages I can show you that are just the same as that conversation. Now, on one of these videos, I don't know which one, he talks about how his mom went in and out of jail and how her parents were like, listen, going into the military. And that's how he went in at 20. But y'all find it on his page. Y'all enjoy. And I want you to understand, this social media is paying people so much that the fact that he like, well, I'm going to get out of the military. They have a little group. I think it's like 5,000 people in the group already. It's like maybe 100, something like that, or $27 monthly, some kind of number. But trust me, they're doing probably 300,000 to $500,000 a year. I'm not even being funny. So people are like, you should stay in the military for what? Multiple homes, business is going good, 500,000 off digital. I'm just telling y'all, like, if you're smart, you're in the Maryland area, you're going to buy 1 or 2 more rentals and keep it pushing, correct? I'm gonna get out of there. But y'all can go look at his page. Y'all can go see where he talks about his parents. It matters who you're around. It matters who you're around. It's mattering who you listen to. Imagine him listening to some old knuckleheads. Life would be crazy. Let me show you this. And I'm gonna show you some more scallywags. Because I think y'all think I'm joking, but I'm not. This is a terribly drawn freehand here. Don't judge me. It's terrible, but I drew it because I want to talk about trajectory and compound effect of your life. Now, see right here, this line where they're all bunched up together, I'm going to call that 15. I'm going to call this ending line about 23 years old. This holding steady line, these are people that they're just holding on. My family's always been this way. We've always done this. But this behavior right here, the scallywag behavior, eventually sends you down here to the dungeons. You become a castaway. You make enough good, boop, boop, boop. See how the line is not straight, y'all? I'll try my best. The line is not straight because you're going to have hiccups along the way. But this is the projection of yuppies, Henrys, and preppies, right? You can be black people and white people can be both of those things, right? We can go any way we want with this. But these are just the titles I'm using for today because they're easy for everybody to understand. No disrespect, okay? Jesus can do all, okay? But the reason I'm bringing this up is, and I'm going to go over the differences. We have family members who were in New York. One is a very wealthy person. He's married. He has a great life. I have not seen him since I was a child. He has a whole different life. We have family who work within the Baltimore Ravens organization and the Chicago Bears organization. I don't even see them except for once a year. I got to catch them if I want to see them or be at the actual events to see them. They are official Henrys, preppies, like they on a whole nother trajectory of life. We don't even cross sect. Let's just be honest. Now we have some family members in New York. We had two different ones. We had one in I'm gonna go there and they can hate me. My family can hate me. But we had one that was a drag queen. And he was very successful financially till he got you know what happened in the 80s, okay? He got the As I Die Slowly. And he came back home and asked, hey, I have money. Can somebody just take care of me till I die? And our family's like, no problem, baby. It ain't even about the money. It's the fact that you family. Come on back. It's okay. Just leave that wig up there, though. Leave that wig up there. We don't need the RuPaul when you come. Just come as Jesus birthed you. Just come like that. But anyway, so long story short, that person did come here and they passed. We have another family member. They're almost 80 years old. They were so busy living the scallywag life in New York. They had an injury. All of a sudden now they're blind. Even though they're late in life, you think, well, man, they just need a nice home, a quiet place. They get down here, they want to hang with scallywags. They're like, where's the sports gambling place? Where's the casino? Where's the give me some liquor? We're like, dude, you're almost 80 years old. You're gonna die. He wants to hang out with scallywags. He's built a whole life of scallywags. You know, the school for the blind, the activities they do, they're singing in choirs, they're playing card games, they're doing braille activities. He don't want to do none of that. He want to have scallywags around him, right? He want to go sit at the gambling house. He want to sit where the hookers at, where the strip club at. Because eventually, this scallywag behavior becomes your personality. You don't just get back out of being a scallywag. You don't. No matter what people, yes, you can always change. You know, the Lord changes anybody, Erica. Y'all, these people is scallywags. Now, these are oversimplified definitions, overly simplified. Be mad at it. I don't care. They're overly simplified. Now, from 15 to 23, these groups can look similar. You know, there's always a group of young boys cutting up somewhere, doing silly stuff, doing mischievous but harmful things, scallywag behavior. But about 23, that's when the seas part. And this is why I always feel bad when I see young black men who are telling me they're 32, 35, 36. And I'm looking at them like, damn, I thought you was in your 20s acting like this. Acting like a scallywag. What are you doing? It's time to grow up. But if they don't have that wake-up call, they stay on the scallywag path. Right? So let's go ahead and let's make it very, very over the top. Right? They're over the top, you know, so give me a break. Scallywag, constantly looking for excitement. Energy drink, soda, sweet tea. When I came back to my family to visit them, I'm like, why is there so much soda and sweet tea in here? We ain't poor. So why are we, where the water at? Where's the minted water? Where's the flavored water? Okay. And they would laugh, right? They thought it was hilarious when I would talk about it. Cigarettes. Who still smokes cigarettes? We have a family member who is a closeted smoker because they know it's a scallywag activity. Right? They'll come to the functions, fresh, showered, shaved, cologne. You're like, oh man, you smell great, Unc. Then you look out, you're like, but your car kind of smells like cigarettes. Because he's still from an era where it's shameful to smoke. It's not very gentlemanly. Only the bum smoke. Right? And y'all think I'm exaggerating. I'm telling you, this man does not smoke. He'll never smoke a cigarette where one of us can see in our whole entire life. From a child to now, I've never seen this man smoke a cigarette. Never. I can smell. I'm like, I smell some cigarettes somewhere, but I've never seen it. Right? We have one other family member smoke cigarettes, and we would laugh. We'd be like, what is wrong with you? Why are you smoking cigarettes? This is like basic knowledge. This is bad. Vaping. Okay. All right. Pit bulls, uncut grass. Do you know how many times I go on those channels where they're cutting people's grass for people and people are like, sometimes you get depressed. Sometimes you're tired. Sometimes life happens. It's 30 minutes to cut your grass outside on a Saturday. It's 30. If you got teenagers, you can't even convince a 15-year-old to go out and push a lawnmower. Erica, I live in Georgia. I live in North Carolina. The grass grows every week. I'm in Florida. Baby, come on. It's almost scallywag level. They get in these houses and act like I have to go outside and maintain it. That's crazy. I have to actually clean up behind myself. This is crazy. Sports to yell and hardcore tailgate. You already know. Listen, when I go to football games, I try. If I can't get tickets near the front where they're expensive, I will not go. Why is that? The further you get back up, you're dealing with yelling. You're dealing with people who are intoxicated. I'm talking. I've been at college football games where the people are about to fall down. People are throwing up. I'm like, why are you even here? Just go be an alcoholic in the parking lot and go call it a day. That's scallywag behavior. Things are always happening to them. I just fell down pregnant, girl. My baby daddy, girl. I wish I could have chose better. What? Who slept with him? This girl done got pregnant on me. How did she get pregnant on you? Huh? Gambling. But gambling can fit both categories because I've met plenty of yuppies that are gambling. So let me be very clear on this one. But gambling, when I say 3%, that's the winning odds. Only if 100 people gamble today, only 3 of them will win. Only 3 of them will win. Listen, I showed that on my listen. I drove in traffic. This woman had the 49ers wrapped on her car like she was an employee. I want to say, are they paying you for this? You've wrapped your truck in 49ers and material. Are you being paid for this? Get your scallywag out of here. Get it out of here. Okay? And so there's a many places I can go with this. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When y'all the bonnets, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna say it because it's there. The bonnets outside, wearing bedroom clothes outside, wearing sandals and slippers that are for your house outside. You're always in activewear. This could be on the yuppie side too. You're always in activewear, but you're saying going to the gym. That's scallywag. Go put some clothes on. It takes 5 minutes to put pants on. 5 minutes. Do rags too. I get on people. Right? I'm wearing this in the house. I'm literally wearing a beanie in the house because I call this the winter series, the winter arc series. But when my family came in, they were like, "What is wrong with you? Why do you have a beanie on your head? Why? What is wrong with you?" Right? And I've told y'all, when my hair is braided, the kind of conversations I have versus when my hair is curly, ooh, you ought to see how people act. People think you are low country. Let me just say that. Okay. Now, yuppies, say what you will about them, but lateral upward movement. Right? A lot of people are not having children, and quiet as is kept because you know why? It would require them to come down an economic step. If they got married and had to take care of a wife today, they would lose their cool bachelor studio apartment, bro. They'd lose their cool apartment downtown, bro. They would have to turn in their 2-seater Mustang Camaro, bro. They couldn't just hang out and go to happy hours and harass 20-year-olds, bro. If they really went and had a family, they would be working. They would have to change. They'd have to have some development. So that's why you see a lot of middle-class kids not having kids because they realize they'd have to come down a step. And they don't want that. No. They don't want to live over in that neighborhood. Oh, no. That's crazy. Okay? So, boring things. They will stick with something boring. I sent somebody a video of the compound, the guys that talk about stocks all the time, right? In New Jersey. And I sent them a bunch of Blueberm stuff and Daniel DiMartino Booth. Do you know they just told me that was boring and they struggled to finish it? I was like, so the stock market is gangbusters right now and you have no idea why it's gangbusters. You're completely locked out of an industry. You're locked out of the money. If you can't watch something boring, you have a problem. You have a dopamine problem. So football and sports, and we talked about this at the Inner Circle this past weekend in Houston Takeover. I was telling them how I had season tickets to the girls' basketball, University of Texas basketball, and how basically women were chasing us down to talk to us. And we were like, whoa, what's going on? And these women, these are all business people. The woman ended up being a vice president of this really like multimillionaire company that had all these government contracts, and I was absolutely shocked. But it's because who has time at 2:00 in the afternoon on a Tuesday to be there? Is some hardworking single mom going to be there? Probably not. Is some hardworking folks going to be there? Probably not. So they go to football and sports to network. If you look at the Carolina Panthers, they have a section where the ticket's 25,000. Who's paying for that for the Carolina Panthers? What type of person? Right? The suites, 25K per game on the suites. I had to break it down to them some of the prices that I know and heard, right? And actually been on the phone with the sales reps. They're not there because the game's so great. They're really there to like status symbol thing and kind of talk network. So stocks, right? When we want to switch to stocks for the gambling, right? There you go. You know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's boring, right? So if you switch to stocks for the gambling, there's a whole group of degenerate gambling in the stock market world by the uppies. So let's not even, let's not act like that's not also gambling if you don't know what you're doing or you're playing a game. Water, supplements, teas. What's wrong, baby? Oh, okay. Water, supplements, teas. When I talk to people about supplements, I talk about water. I talk about, hey, we want to try this tea we got from the Chinese store. Y'all have people look at me like I'm crazy. Tea? Where that tea from? My sister buys, skinny green teas or whatever from the Chinese store. And I'm like, just a little bit of Googling, right? We'll get you access to stuff that could make you feel better. I buy these teas from Jamaica. I hope they okay once this storm is over. But I buy some loose leaf tea from some people in Jamaica. Great stuff for your body if you're a woman. Great stuff. But that is taking enough time to like Google and not be like, I'm tired. Let me just hit an energy drink and never assess what's the real true issue. Bank CDs, memberships, groups, pickleball. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Y'all know where this is going. Okay. Let's go over here. Last part. I think this is the last part. Oh, crap. No, this is part of it. When you start getting into this right here, the bottom level is we are broke. We need help. You ever hear when everybody's talking about the food stamps? This is going to happen. That's going to happen. The places, everybody's going to lose their job. I'll be like, no, they're not. No, they're not. No, that doesn't make sense. Like everybody's not broke. Some people are going to go to their store and buy the basics. Some people are going to go pick up a cookbook this weekend and be like, how many spaghetti meals can I make for these kids till the food stamps come on? So to act like everybody's going to starve to death, these poor kids are going to starve to death, Erica. They're going to, oh Lord. I'm like, y'all stop it. These kids have free meals at school, free meal, breakfast and lunch at school, right? And they're going to be there the next morning to eat again. And somebody's going to be like, no, you don't understand, Erica. You don't understand. These people's going to starve to death. They're not. They're not. And I talked about it in the inner circle this past week, and I was like, listen, we almost need to kind of get it. We almost need to get it back till you can get some rice and some beans and some chicken and get out the store, right? Like eventually that's what they're going to do. They're going to tighten it up. But again, right here, the football sports, the traveling sports parents, that locks them into that middle class stuff. And y'all know that, right? Then you have that next level. If they ever leave this hurdle right here, this middle class stuff. And when I went to the SEMA car show in Las Vegas, it's nothing but business owners bringing cars they put 20, 30 grand into. Who has the money to put 20, 30 grand in a car? Business owners or a guy who owns a mechanic shop. That's it. Those two categories. That's it. So you start coming up here, it gets different. Banquets, networking, MBAs, right? And I'm going to go over the MBA thing in a second here. Exclusive events, travel, conferences. The last couple conferences I saw that I wanted to attend, one was in Cancun, one was in Cabo, one was in Dubai. And it's Black people hosting them. You know what I'm saying? So people acting like, oh, when are you coming to DC, Erica? When are you coming to New York, Erica? When are you coming right here to my backyard in Concord, California, Erica? Baby, you go to where the event is. That's how it works. Like we had several people at the event this weekend that were not from town. They were from DC. They were from Chattanooga. They were from a couple other places. Like that's how that works. You go towards the money. That's when you get out of that stuck. When you're willing to kind of elevate. Now at the top, you see I put it all over the top, right? And I call these people in office. They're still in office. They make the most money from being in an office. But then if you want to switch to out of the office, which I was going to read all the people that got laid off, but I somehow the pages moved. I thought I saved it, but I didn't. But essentially, they're naming all these layoffs. There are people already in these groups talking about buying other businesses, buying service businesses, buying middleman businesses, money lending, being a hard money lender, hosting events, management, switching from one management place to another, right? That's over the office. You're over it. You can make money in or out, right? I've already told y'all the rule. You have 3 houses in America, you're in the 1%. Right? You're already in 1%. So we can keep moving. Listen, I kid you not. I had so many sales out of Concord. I was gonna do something in Concord, California, but I was like, no, I'm not, because that's crazy. I had so many sales out of there. I was like, who's over there? What's going on over there? All right. But let me kick it back over here. Let me get back into the go. Like, this is an example right here. Right here. You say, Erica, where the black people with the monies? Right here. The 35th National Farmers Association Conference. It's a 2-day event in Alabama, in Marriott, Birmingham. Now you're gonna say, well, who wants to do that? Now they're gonna have a banquet. They're gonna do the suit and tie, suit and tie, get the black dress on, suit and tie that night, right? His wife is actually Lumbee from, again, from right down the street from the Lumbee Indians here, American Indian Farmer Association. So they got the combo and the couple right there. Okay. But when they get there, they're not charging crazy dollars. You just being in the room here, you're around black farmers. They're going to tell you all the resources, all the things you can sign up for. Again, this was the president. This was his mother. She passed, of course, but again, I just want you to understand, like, you're gonna be like, where's all the black farmers? Donate to save the black-owned community grocery store co-op in South Carolina, right? Again, a lot of black farmers aren't hurting. Y'all can go look and read a lot of this for yourself. But a lot of black farmers over 10 years ago switched how they're supposed to do things. What does that mean? They switched trying to compete with selling to overseas people. They just end up getting contracts for stores. Like, if you get a contract for HEB in Texas, y'all don't understand. If you get a contract for HEB in Texas, your stuff, you're gonna be good for the year. Go look up how many HEB stores are. Go look up how many Kroger stores. And HEB works hard to get minority people. So a lot of black farmers had been left that I'm going to do the most laziest crop, the most easiest crop, and sell it to somebody overseas. They've been left that market. But you're not ready to hear that conversation. So let's keep it pushing. Let me go on to the next. Let me get over here. Oh, I got to use Mr. Pretentious, because y'all love to hate him. This is a funny one to me. Oh.
Need high-class hobbies when you can't even have a conversation with the blue-haired barista at the coffee shop? What do you think is going to happen when you actually have to have a conversation with this rich person that you're looking for? Do you think they're going to be impressed by your communication skills when you have the vocabulary of a 6th grader? Very unlikely. But also, nothing is more poor and stupid than thinking that wealthy people are like NPCs in a video game, that they just stand around the rich places and they never go anywhere else or do anything. They just stand in the rich place in the country club just waiting for you to come up and talk to them. You need to be in regular hobbies, perhaps starting with the book club so that you can acquire an adult vocabulary. Maybe I would suggest a board game club where you can learn to think. Gym class. Who do you think can do Pilates at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday? A hard working class mother? Probably not. Regular hobbies that you are just genuinely interested in, that are normal things, are actually going to help you build your social skills that many of you lack. And also, you're going to find, oh my God, people with money have regular hobbies. Like, you will find the people that you are looking for much quicker than you will ever do any of these upper class hobbies that you keep saving and watching on social media.
Okay, so part of why I bring him up, because when he's comical and he's out of Dallas, he is that upper wealthy group out of Canada. You know what I mean? It's just kind of silly, right? But if you guys can see my necklace, I made the screen bigger. It's a tennis ball. I have the ball part, but it's upstairs. I usually just wear the tennis racket. Now you're gonna say, Erica, who cares about the necklace you're wearing? It's very sweet. It's a gift from my boo-boo. And the reason I talk about it is I would go into stores and there would be Indian with a dot people who wouldn't look my way. I'd go past them. Oh, is that tennis? I'm like, yes, it's tennis. Oh, you play tennis? I'm like, oh, yes, I played tennis in high school. Yeah, I played tennis for a long time. Oh, tennis? And this Indian woman who probably would never pay me no mind time of the day, all of a sudden is smiling, talking in my face. How are you doing? What side of town you live on? I was driving from Nashville to another part of Tennessee, and we ended up going in there in the store, and the lady was working, the gas cap, they own the gas station, and they look like frumpy. And then they looked and said, "Is that a tennis racket?" I said, "Yeah." "My son plays tennis. He's in varsity in tennis, blah, 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 tennis." And I was like, okay, also, thank you. Here's my $20 for the gas. It's like you have to understand there's certain hobbies and things you'll do that will create conversation with people. Right? So, are you going to find a lot of Indian children playing football? No. Are you going to find a lot of Indian children? You're going to find them playing soccer. Yeah, you'll find them not much playing baseball. There's a lot of Latinos playing baseball and all that good stuff. But it's the hobbies, right? The other day when I wanted to go get on a tennis court, it was like two Indian brothers and their dad just out there watching them play, right? They literally go hard with the tennis, the cricket, the racket, the paddleboard, the pickleball, right? Oh, I don't. But I just thought that was funny how observant they are. They're observant when they want to be observant. You know what I'm saying? Like they can see you when they want to see you. And so I just tell people it's how you carry yourself. I went in some place and I was talking and the black girls at the counter were like I'm some alien. I want to be like, yes. And I'd like that right now. like you just carry yourself. I had my cowboy hat on. I don't know if y'all can see it right now. So I had my cowboy hat and I went in the store. This guy comes up, he's security. I'm thinking, what does he want? He ended up telling me how he was a rodeo cowboy. He showed me his pictures in his phone, how he had won 3 buckles, like the awards. He won the rodeo. He showed me all this stuff he did. He said, yeah, when I got 50, I just said, that's enough of that. I want to have a good back when I get older. Then I switched to this, and now I'm over 32 stores. He's like, oh, our company has the contract. You can Google us. You can look us up. So I did Google his company later. He did. He owns security company over multiple stores. His pictures on the contact us page. They have government contracts. You never know who you're meeting by how you're dressing, cowboy hat, and carrying yourself as you go out the door. It's just that kind of conversation. So let me go here. Put this back up. Let me go out of here. And this is the funny part, but this is true. This is true.
If you want exactly where you stand in society, start carrying some bags around. This was a video where the girl is walking around disheveled and everybody is pretty much ignoring her struggling. But then she wears a dress and puts on some makeup, and now everybody is so willing to help her carry all of her things. To most people, this seems like common sense. Yet, women do not understand this dynamic at all, and men don't even know that this also applies to them. You will never see a man in a 3-piece suit carrying luggage. For women, if you are used to always opening your own doors, always having to carry 30 different groceries around, or whatever the case may be, if people are not openly being very helpful towards you, you are not that good looking. Or maybe you just look disheveled. If you are really a put together woman, I promise you, every single time you go out, you will know. People are going to loudly let you know, both verbally and through actions. And I don't mean like the trash on the side of the street catcalling you. I mean, people will say, oh, your energy, it's just so good, and, stuff like that. I once knew a girl who never put her luggage in the overhead cabin on a plane, for example. She would just stand there because she knew that a man would offer to do it for her, so she never ever did it. What do you think she looked like? Even as a man, when I'm in a suit, I don't hold open doors. People let me, oh, please go ahead. People give me free things. All the things that men swear only happen to women happen to me all the time. Most men do not dress respectably. They don't carry themselves in a way that commands respect. So they are quick to argue about how women get all these free things and all this special treatment, and men actually get it too. It's just the motivations are different. or a attractive woman, people do things for her because they just like her and they're giving preferential treatment for that reason. For men, it's more people wanting you to like them because you are clearly a person who is, a respectable person. Obviously, this isn't going to happen for you if you're a loser, a bum, the type of man that sits on the internet crying about why women get things and men don't. Because if you're having those conversations, you know which group you're a part of. You're a part of the group of men who don't get anything. You want to know why you don't get anything? I go more in depth in this YouTube video.
You can. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's so funny. I'm telling you this as a person who's traveled a lot. I used to wear that green suit y'all see me in when I did a couple of my shows. Or I'd wear button ups and slacks, and people would pick up my luggage, and I'd wear the cowboy hat in the airport. I mean, people are talking, oh my God, hi. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Right. I remember Kevin Samuels talking about this, and grown men would be like, I'm a 40-year-old man. I don't wanna wear a suit and tie all the time. But people ought to respect me because I'm 40. If you're a black man and you're under 40 and your face is moisturized, you tend to look 10 years younger. Women too, right? You tend to look younger than your demographic, right? Like there's a lot of facelift surgeries, and usually I only see the facelift surgery photos on light skinned black women. Y'all say what you want about that. It's just the lack of melanin, but I don't usually see dark skinned women running around getting face surgeries. The melanin has kept the face intact, right? Older black men, they'll shave the head, blacken the beard, look younger instantly. It's how you carry yourself. If you're out here dressing like you're 20 and can't realize, why are people being nice to me? If you're out here with your belly out, you out here with the bonnet on, you out here in the night clothes, and why aren't people being nice to me? I just remember Kevin Samuels having so many people being like, oh, I don't want to do that. That's not fair. They should judge me on my character. First impressions matter. They matter all the time. Listen, I've been places with my significant other. I'll be dressed to the nines. They'll look over him. They'll look at me. They'll look over him. Then they're like, oh, okay, come on in. Come on in. Right? It happens all the time because people are making judgments off of it's class before race. They're tied together, but it's class before race. And no one wants to hear that, but it's the truth. Right? So let me go on to this other one. Where's it at? Where's it at? Okay, here it is. Here it is.
Guilted into doing. Pay the bills, take care of the uncle who wasted his life, fund the cousin who partied through their 20s. If you refuse, they call you selfish. But selfish is building your dreams around people who destroyed theirs. In African culture, guilt is used as currency. It's never about what you can do, it's about what you are guilted into doing. Pay the bills, take care of the uncle who wasted his life, fund the cousin who partied through their 20s. If you refuse, they call you selfish. But selfish is building your dreams around people who destroyed theirs. In African culture, guilt is used as currency. It's never about what you can do, it's about what you are guilted into doing. Pay the bills, take care of the uncle who wasted his life.
This is what I'm fighting right now. In African American, there's so many immigrant stories of like, you need to send money home. I see countless stories like this one woman, she messed with this African man and she was back home in Africa and he convinced the daughter to come see him, right? Like your mother took you away from me. The daughter gets on buses, which is dangerous in that country. She ain't in America. She ain't have no phone. She got over there and he just picked her up and dropped her off at one of the auntie's house. And so the daughter called, Mom, come get me. Help, come get me, Mama. I don't know these people. She said, no, I told you why I left your daddy. I told you why we left him back here in Africa. I told you his behavior. Now I'm gonna let you see. So she left her daughter over there for another 3 months. Just so she get a full African experience. Now you want to come back? You want to respect why I'm telling you what I'm telling you? Again, your parents 9 times out of 10 were protecting you from a raggedy, dusty parent, a scallywag parent. Once they got the light came to their eyes that they were messing with a scallywag, they're like, let me go somewhere else. Let me not mess with this scallywag for my children's sake. But y'all don't want to hear that part. Y'all don't want to hear that part. Let me play this part too for y'all. Here you go.
Court that is completely obedient to your president. They're willing to give him unlimited power. They're willing to say that he can take SEAL Team 6 and kill anybody he wants. They were willing to affirm that. They're willing to say that ICE can racially profile anybody they want. The United States Supreme Court has said you can racially profile Latinos based on their accent or the way they look. You guys have everything you want. You have legal racial profiling. You've ended DEI. You've ended affirmative action. You get all the best jobs, even if you're not qualified. You can be a Fox Weekend host and be the Defense Department's Secretary of Defense. You can be Kash Patel and be a podcaster who wants to go to Valhalla and run the FBI, as long as you're conservative. You have everything. Why are y'all so angry? What the fuck are you angry about? You've banned all of our books. You've banned Black history. You banned the 1619 Project. You don't have to compete with women for jobs. You've chased them out of the military. You've chased them out of the senior positions in the Department of Defense. You've gotten rid of all the Black history in the museums. Museums are terrified. I have contacts that I'm talking to inside of the Interior Department, people who are running all of those spaces where you can go and see a Civil War memorial or something. The people who work in these places are terrified. They're afraid to tell the real history. The people who are working for the federal government are afraid to say the word Black. You guys have canceled Black scholarships. You're damn near, I guess, ready to get rid of HBCUs. Donald Trump just recently said they're not going to fund any minority serving institution. Y'all have gotten rid of that. You've gotten rid of help for Black kids to go to college. What more do you want? What are you so angry about? I go every so often, I go and lurk and look on X Twitter. Y'all are the maddest people ever. Y'all are so angry for people who have everything. Y'all said you want your country back. You have it. The rest of us are sitting back and trying to keep our peace and preserve our peace while you all are running the country. If the airlines are crashing, that's you. That's the people you wanted to run the United States government. The FBI, y'all are laughing at them on X Twitter and saying that they look ridiculous. That's your FBI. They've purged the people who made the FBI what it was. It's not what you wanted. You have your podcasters running the FBI. You have your friend from the real world running the Department of Transportation. That's what you wanted. There's no longer a gay guy there. The gay guy's gone. The gay guy's at home with his kid and his husband. He's not in charge anymore. The Department of Justice is what you wanted. It's your Justice Department that won't release the Epstein files. If you're mad about the Epstein files, you shouldn't be mad at me and the left. You need to be mad at Donald Trump. You all have the country. You run every red state like it's already Project 2025. You won't let women have abortions in Texas. They're literally dying of sepsis. That's what you wanted. You wanted women to have only 6 weeks to get an abortion in Georgia. You got it. You wanted Texas to be a petri dish and a laboratory for every right-wing, anti-Black, anti-gay, anti-trans idea. And you also got rid of vaccines. Every child in Florida is now going to go to school with kids who could give them measles, mumps, and rubella and COVID. That's what y'all wanted. Why are y'all so angry? You have the white.
Joy Reid lost her job. She's like, you know what? I'm just say whatever I want. I'm gonna say whatever I want. And again, here's another one. Just want you to understand, like they don't even know. They want to be scallywags and they want to say crazy stuff online and troll people, and they don't even know why they're angry. They don't have nothing else to focus and pivot on.
If that was the rule.
Yeah.
And I for some of these guys, Sarah, it was like this was the civil rights crisis of their time. It was the first time in their lives somebody told them they couldn't do something.
Yeah.
And and this is just my analysis, knowing these guys, but it just gave them the sense that, like, how dare somebody try and tell me what to do? I call them the fuck you white guys, right? They have all the money in the world.
You call them like your friends, but you're also like, they're the fuck you white guys.
Well, that's what they are.
Yeah.
Right?
Tell me more. What do you mean?
I'm 49, right? I live in a suburb. I live in a nice house, right? My
Yeah.
kids go to a good school. They're probably going to go to college if they want to.
Yeah.
Those are my friends, right? Those are the people I know most. And so, like, they have a mortgage probably at 2 or 3%. They have cars. Like, they went to college or grad school, all these things, but they're still angry about everything, right?
Mhm.
They're still really pissed off. And
Why?
you know,
Why
for
do you
me,
think they're angry?
it's a great question. My sense is a couple of things. Is most broadly is that, like, they don't have anything to fight against, right? There's no meaning, right? I've been thinking a lot about meaning lately. It's like, what do? I go to work, right? Okay, I close a deal, great, right? Go to the lake house, great. But, like, what's the motivating force for them, right? Like, what is it that gets them out of bed every day? Well, now I have all these things, so now I have to support all of these things, right? Which, again, no one should cry for these people. I'm not asking for any sort of sympathy. I'm just explaining the perspective. But then I think that part of it too, for me, at least when I've seen it, is the friends that I have that went sort of most against Biden or were drawn back into Trump is during COVID, when one guy in particular had to wear, he if he wasn't vaccinated, he couldn't get on an airplane.
Right.
Right. And he's like, I couldn't get on an airplane. I'm like, well, what do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
He's like, I didn't want to get vaccinated. I'm like, then you couldn't get on the airplane. If that was the rule.
Yeah.
And I for some of these guys, Sarah, it was like, this was the civil rights crisis of their time. It was the first time in their lives somebody told them they couldn't do something.
Yeah.
And and this is just my analysis, knowing these guys, but it just gave them the sense that, like, how dare somebody try and tell me what to do? I call them the fuck.
Okay, so I just want I want to play that rant because I think it's so important for y'all to understand this: the rise of the scallywag, the trolling, the y'all let other people do what they want to do, even the comparison stuff y'all see online. How come the goofy, funny, silly guys get the girls, and I'm over here doing all the right stuff? You don't want them scallywag girls? Keep it moving, but you can't tell them that. You know, you're a hater. You're a hater when you tell them that. So let me keep on moving. Let me keep on going. Here's what I had. Now, this again, I talked to y'all about, everybody's broken this economy. Nobody's making any money. And, when I tell people don't put the LLC at your house, Erica, I'll do what I want. I'll put the LLC at my house. Okay, well, here you go. Here's a perfect example why you don't put the LLC at your house. Okay, here you go. Now, this random house in Virginia just won the $1.26 billion from ICE, and he's being doxxed. He's in Henrico, Virginia. Okay, because his name is connected to an LLC that's at his house that just landed $1.26 billion contract to build and run a 5,000 bed immigrant detention center at Fort Bliss, Texas. Acquisitions Logistics Company, very generic, is registered to his residential address. Now, every article, every headline, every news van is circling his home. Not because he did something wrong, but because he did something big without protecting himself. This company with only 36 employees, that's his home, y'all. 36 employees and little prior experience was handed $232 million up front by the federal government. Yet now the world knows where Ken Wagner sleeps at night because he didn't shield his identity. That's why I always say a trust doesn't just protect your money. A holding company just doesn't organize your business. They protect your privacy, they guard your peace, and they keep the media madness at the gate. Get invisible, get protected, get structured. Now, this guy's whole page is about how to properly structure companies. Now, this is why Exactly. Okay. Rookie mistake. Exactly. I told y'all, if you're inside the Digital Liberty Warriors, I showed you where one of the guys just made $11 million last year off Amazon, off a supplement company. And he was the number one ranking thing on TikTok. And he still had his home address down there in Cypress, Texas, on the paperwork. And I'm like, this ain't a gated neighborhood. Sir, if you don't change your paperwork expeditiously, all it took was a quick Google search. Right? Same thing right now. I'm paying registered agents to change all my stuff from my previous addresses. And I'm like, oh my God. Because people don't understand. This is how people sue you. This is how companies make money. They just put somebody on staff. They study where you live. God forbid a tree falls down at that house. Because boy, his neighbor's going to go for everything. But this is where y'all keep thinking millionaires live in they live in monster houses, dude. Not always. Sometimes they live in a regular house in a nice part of Virginia, and then they just go on a lot of vacations. They maybe have a really nice car, but they live in these neighborhoods. Now he's going to do that nice money he got. He better go move to a gated neighborhood in Virginia, but that's another conversation. But I just want you to understand, like, that's that basic, I'm going to just get an LLC. I'm like, it's more to it than that. I still have a friend to this day that he went to MBA school. I'm explaining my business model to him. And again, my company's made millions of dollars. And he's like, I don't understand your business model. I'm like, you don't understand the basics of coaching, community group coaching, consulting, and events. Those have made people money for the past 100 years. What are you talking about? And this is why MBAs are getting people, making them delusional. They think, they know something. I have an MBA. It doesn't mean anything if you're not in an actual, like this situation right here. I'm gonna play this right here. And I've showed y'all this, but I'm gonna show it to y'all again.
repeating our day on Tuesday, except we're out at 3:30 because we don't have our real estate class. And then we have our weekly bar tab at 9 p.m. that we call Think and Drink. And on Friday, we have a party boat so that we can meet the incoming class. Then on Saturday, we hit the homecoming tailgate to watch UT blow out Sam Houston, and that's the week. So what do you think? Is it worth $25K a semester? I just paid $23,598 for the fall semester of business school at UT Austin. So come with me to class for a week and tell me if you think it's worth it. So I'm only in class Tuesday and Thursday and work the rest of the week. And on Tuesday, we get to campus around 10:30 and grab some breakfast tacos and coffee from the shop downstairs. Then it's off to our private equity class from 11 to 12:30 to learn how to buy and roll up businesses. Then we're off to a personal finance class from 12:30 to 2, where we learn how to do things like a backdoor Roth or minimize our tax bill. From 2 to 3:30, we're in Innovative Frontiers, where we listen to guest speakers talk about technology innovations in their field. Then from 3:30 to 6:30, we have our weekly real estate investment trust fund management class, where we're given $1.5 million of the university's money to invest in private real estate opportunities around the country. On Wednesday, we head to a lunch chat with some investors that want to invest in students that want to buy small businesses. And then on Thursday, we're just repeating our day on Tuesday, except we're out at 3:30 because we...
Okay, so if you see in the comments, I almost also comment, oh, people from Europe think y'all are deranged. He said it's going to blow your mind. 30% of the class is international and paying probably double what they're paying. At least 10% of the classes from Europe, and that's not including stage students. And I commented with my other page, there is a massive lack of financial mobility in Europe, lots of growth, financial management, but not growth in most of Europe right now. Most Europeans, regardless of country, make less than Americans and pay more in taxes. Plenty of data on that. Everybody sees it. That's why I was like, you can go to Europe and have free education. Y'all, just stop. Get over it. Stop it. The reason you go to in person on an MBA and not online is because the whole point is to be in the program. Everybody in that room is already partnering and buying businesses and partnering and convincing their parents to invest and partnering and buying companies. I told y'all I want to do a whole show on it, but there's like 4 or 5 Asian kids who are in one of the biggest buildings down there in Austin, and they came out of the program. And they have a SaaS company, a software service company, and that company's already made $10 million this year. And the dude was sleeping in the office because he had just left college and he hadn't got an apartment yet. And the company hadn't made his first dollar. He was sleeping in the office. They had purchased, they had rented to put this business together. I don't think y'all understand. Y'all don't understand. And he was like, if this didn't work, they was going to send me back to China because my student visa was about to expire. Y'all don't understand. These people are here to connect, to have the businesses.
MBA programs in the entire country and what Forbes calls a public Ivy. So here's everything that I wish I knew before I even applied. Number 1, you don't have to take any standardized tests like the GMAT or GRE if you have a strong academic background and at least 3 years of work experience. Instead, you can do what I did and use a test waiver. The qualifications for this really depend on the school, but for context, I had about 4 years of work experience and a 3.6 undergrad GPA. That said, taking a standardized test can definitely improve the amount of scholarship money that you get. Number 2, how well you engage with the school is a super important part of your application. For me, I only ever wanted to go to the University of Texas, so I made a point to attend as many recruiting events as I could around the state, and even took a campus tour on my birthday to show dedication, and even did a virtual coffee chat with a current student. Number 3, take a campus tour well in advance of applying because a lot of schools offer an application fee waiver if you take the campus tour first. I actually did not do this, so I didn't get a chance to use this on my application fee, but I definitely wish I did. And finally, be sure to apply as early as you can, and there's really 2 reasons for this. Number 1, a lot of recruiting events for banking and consulting actually take place well before the school year even starts. There's also conferences over the summer that a lot of people end up getting internships from. The other reason is that scholarships are limited, so you're more likely to get more money in earlier rounds than in later rounds. And if you want to see what it's like to go through a top MBA program, I'm going to be posting a lot of content about my experience, so be sure to follow along. But what do you think? Are MBAs still worth it?
So this is one of the only MBAs in the country that's worth it. This and a few other Ivy schools. And you are right. Thoughts of a wildfire. MBAs are managing other people's companies. Successful people I know none of them have MBAs. It's very generic information. It's so generic. Like I literally told you, I had a friend tried to tell me he knew more. I had another friend did an online program. I'm like, you don't have a business. So who cares what you're talking about? You don't have a business. You're getting this so you can run somebody else's business. You don't have the balls. You don't have the balls to run your own stuff. You don't. That's okay. You don't want to take the heat of if you have to run it yourself.
Here's exactly how much I've spent on my MBA at UT Austin so far, with class trips like learning tax avoidance in Switzerland. So last year
Wait, did you hear that? Let me make sure you heard that.
Spent $49,829 on tuition, $1,118 on parking, $365 on an iPad, $300 on student tickets, but it was our first year in the SEC, so it was totally worth it because it included the playoff games, and $800 on everything else from software to required readings, for a first year total of $52,412. And this year I'll be taking the bus, which saves over $1,000, but I'm also taking a trip to Italy for a marketing class at Ferrari, which cost around $3,000, plus tuition for the year, which is around $47,000, which brings the total program cost to just under $104,000. Now, obviously, I have rent, food, and a bunch of other living costs, but I would have those either way, so I'm leaving them out. I also only worked half the year last year, so I think I missed out on about $80,000 in income, and my new student loan balance at graduation will be roughly $125,000 at 5.5% interest for the next 5 years, and I'll pay about $26,000 in interest, which means the total cost of the degree between the real cost and the opportunity cost will be around $210,000. And in the next video, I'll tell you if I think it's worth it, so be sure to follow along. But what do you think? Is it worth?
Okay, now everybody's gonna be like, oh, that's outrageous. That's ridiculous. I wouldn't pay that. I wouldn't do any of that. If you actually go look at his page, I promise y'all, he's already listen. He's already partnered with people. He's already bought 2 other rental properties just from taking these classes. He's showing you here this is his first rental, but I promise you, all they're doing in those classes is learning how to buy businesses. Okay, buy businesses, partner. This is why it makes no sense to have an online MBA. For what? Your purpose is to go in there and let your face be seen. And you don't even get in this program unless you've already worked for 3 years. Right? So let me see if I can pull this one up where I wanted to pull y'all and show y'all. Let me see. It's y'all favorite snotty young man. That's funny to me. Let me see. Let me see.
Are you a staffer? Are you running for mayor? Are you running for governor? You know, there's levels to it. So I guess some positions are kind of considered high class because they naturally have adjacencies with other power structures. Like if you're going to become like even governor, I'd probably say there's some exceptions, but you almost always have some ties to people with a lot of money in one way or another. So they work together. Of course, politics and power and money are always going to be best friends. But I don't think you necessarily being like an intern on Capitol Hill. Like I think a lot of people in DC are fucking losers. And most of them, I'm like, you work some random job that nobody's ever heard of and nobody cares about. And you feel good about it. And that's good for you. But nobody is sitting here thinking, wow, that's so cool. Outside of DC. The only people who think that job is cool is people in DC because they're also losers. I think online MBAs are a waste because MBAs are not actual academic programs. You don't learn anything in an MBA that is mind-blowing or gate-kept. Like even in an undergraduate program, like the things that I learned in my undergraduate program are not things that I could sit and learn about for funsies and just go on the internet and easily find YouTube videos and people explaining these things. An MBA is all basic business concepts that are widely talked about. Easily talked about. You could find 10 YouTube videos on any given concept that they're going to talk about in an MBA program, an online MBA program at that. Now, like one of my friends recently went to like Stanford Business School, and they went on a trip where I want to say it was somewhere in Europe, but basically they were doing all these like luxury business related things. So, they went and I don't know. I don't even remember all the stuff they did. But, they went to, let's say, Chanel and talked to, like, the president at Chanel. Obviously, you're not going to get that experience through watching YouTube. You're not going to hear about that stuff. But you're also not going to get it from an online MBA program. You're also not going to get it from a bottom-tier MBA program. The actual academic things that you could learn from an MBA program, you could learn for free. In fact, there's a book that's called, like, Everything I Learned in My MBA.
Okay, boom. Done. Pause. That's all I needed for him to say. Here, I'm gonna show it to you. I don't hide anything from y'all. 10-day MBA. This is a great one. This is the 5th version of it. Step-by-step guide to mastering skills taught in American business schools. I'm gonna tell you right now, most of this stuff is going to tell you, not this particular book, but basically take $100,000 and invest it across 10 companies. And that's your MBA. Here's another one. 10-day MBA. This is the 4th edition. Same guy. A little bit more cheaper. Okay. Let's go here. This is my personal MBA. This is the 10th year anniversary of this. It's still the same. It's literally 12 forms of value, 4 methods to increase revenue. How do I increase revenue for this business? 5 parts of every business, right? And the same thing, it teaches you management, marketing skills, negotiation, right? This is why the UT business program doesn't let you come in unless you've already worked for 3 years, mostly in sales roles. This one as well. This is another one. 12-week MBA. Learn the skills you need today to lead in business. What are you going to see with most of these people that we just saw? That we just saw in these clips, and the people paying all this money for MBAs, and what's going to happen to these people? I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. These people are going to buy businesses, and you're going to be like, man, the management's stupid. Oh, I need to get a different job. And you don't, because you keep working there. You're going to have a guy like this who used to work at a bank, and now he bought 6 businesses and hangs out with his wife and does Instagram. Oh, I'm just I mean, again, you can go look at it. Look at it for yourself. Look at it for yourself. This is all these people running around. Oh my God, these people are losing their jobs. They're getting fired. Y'all, I'm telling you, they're going to, depending on where they're at financially, they're going to, let me see if I have them. I can pull them up here as well. What is his name? Brian. There he is, Brian. This is all he teaches, how he used to work. I'll play this right here for you. Let's see if it's pulling up.
Big scene, catching us on the
Amazon's laying off 30,000, Nvidia, Tesla, and more. The only safety right now is ownership. If you aren't actively learning how to buy a business on your own, scaling into real estate, you're sitting around waiting to be fired. You can go check this out on your own.
Yo, we got to have a heart-to-heart here, because after I posted that story about Amazon firing 30,000 people alongside other tech companies in the video, you guys are in my DMs telling me to die and go F myself. Yeah, we're not doing that here. So it's like, we need to embrace reality here, which is, if you're in tech and you're like a data engineer, a coder, a project manager, and you're in big tech, like, and you're making $400,000 plus per year, your job is not safe, dude. Like, it's not. That is the reality of the situation. AI is coming for your job, period. And now there's only a few things that we can do here. We can either sit around and do nothing, or we can stack up our cash, we can invest in relationships. I don't give a shit if you guys do Action Academy or do anything. Go learn wholesaling, go learn flipping, go learn anything. But you guys need to be investing in your networks, you guys need to be investing in your skill sets, and you need to be investing in your ownership. You need equity in real estate and businesses today more than ever.
And you're gonna say, well, the economy, recession. Trust me, it's a million ways to make money. This tab right here, I don't have time to go over it. I'll save it for my private inner circle folks. But again, all this is a tech person. Do it yourself private loans, private lender partnership, direct lender placement, private debt fund partnership. These people are going to be, they're not going to be, oh, I was in tech and now I work at Target. That's not going to be their story. A lot of these people, because of their tax returns and their bank statements, they just go move towards management, but independent stuff, right? 42% of divorced Americans say credit card debt and overspending cause breakup. Study reveals financial strain from credit cards is key reason for failed relationship. Listen, let's go there. What is the credit card? They're trying to spend the life they want. That's all. Oh, my wife. Listen, I've heard men say, oh, my wife, I make money. She spend it left and right. Why don't have you go home and said something to her about it? Oh, you don't understand, Erica. You don't understand. Okay. I'm a data engineer. Haha, but I'm in healthcare. Plus you already know. You listen, you can go left, right, front, back, depending on how you want to do it. Where's my last one? Here we go. This is how out of touch people be. So this couple is like, it's making it hard for them to make ends meet. This couple is hilarious. I want y'all to. This couple is quite hilarious. So basically, they get over $127,000 a year from their government pensions, and they already have $5,000 a year in subsidies for healthcare. They want $15,000. Let me show you this couple. This is a real life couple, and this is a real life bunch of people. All right, this couple retired early in their 50s. They don't work. They make $136,000 a year off their pension and IRA savings. All right. And then again, in 2023, they made $123,000. In 2024, they made $136,000 in pensions. I am telling you right now, I know African-American people right now who have the same amount in pension right now, military pension plus disability and all that other combination of stuff. I know at least 15. And if you try to talk to them about once you guys invest in another rental, once you invest, oh, I don't know. It's times are tough out here. I got no money. I ain't made of money. Do you understand you're in the top 10% of America? Do you understand that? They don't. They look at you crazy. Look at you crazy if you tell them that. Like, you're in the top 10% of America. I had a friend complaining. His wife makes 70. He makes 185. And he's like, oh, we're just holding on. And I was like, what? I was like, there are people making $50,000 a year here in Austin. What do you mean you're holding on? Well, Erica, nobody can live off that. Yeah, they are. I tell them about school teachers all the time. Well, she need to get married. Again, y'all, people literally will hear this stuff and go, why don't you just do the most basic thing? Let me keep going. Let me go. Here we go. Where they at? Let me see if I can find their picture. Because I know they got their picture in here. There you are. There we go. There they are. They need y'all to pay.
I just retired in June from 25 years of teaching.
My name is Bartley Armitage. I've been in Eugene, Oregon most of the 45 years. I was a union carpenter for over 30 years and still a member of the Carpenters Union.
Our current premium is $443 a month.
Through the ACA.
Through the ACA, and which is manageable for us, both retirees. However, it's going up to $2,224 a month. We are kind of in shock. That's without the subsidy. With the subsidy, it's manageable for us. We still live paycheck to paycheck, but it's manageable. The Affordable Care Act, we sort of counted on that in the interim period as retirees to sustain our health care. Without the subsidy, we honestly don't know what we're going to do.
Without the subsidy and with that kind of increase, it's like buying another house and trying to pay for two houses at the same time. Yeah, so we don't know what we're going to do exactly. We don't know how we're going to have some health insurance and be able to afford it on a monthly basis.
My name is Carla Zimmerman.
Okay, so again, if you everybody's like, why should these two people that look like this pay the same for insurance? They shouldn't. They shouldn't. And this is what people don't want to hear. This is what people don't want to hear. She is very much a Kawasaki, you know? When I'm on their level, I'm gonna be broke often from buying rentals in Cleveland. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm so broke. We need this money. Like, nobody can understand why do they need subsidies. They live in Oregon. Common sense would say they need to go buy some more rentals. They need to go buy what the government.
I mean, shutdowns are terrible, and of course there will be, you know, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously.
But without my EBT card, I'll starve. They got to stop. This is terrible. They have to stop. Okay. So anyway, you can go look on. You have to be somewhat knowledgeable if you go look up. This is Trust Fund Terry. If you look up the page, a lot of it's very much wealth jokes. If you understand the stock market or you're at least knowledgeable on the government shutdown or just stock market in general. So again, this is Baller Busters. I just want to make sure y'all know when I'm talking about scallywags, I'm usually talking about white scallywags. There are hundreds of thousands of white scallywags. You go on realdeal.com. It'll show you hundreds of thousands of white men right now going to jail for real estate fraud, banking fraud every day, all day. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they're going to do 2 months. They got to pay back $6 million. They got to come back to New York and do this every day, all day. When the tide goes out, I just don't want y'all out on the internet like, yeah, black people bad, black businesses bad. I heard Sly say some stuff the other day. I wanted to laugh and I was like, stop. Don't do that. Because they out here cutting up. All races, all people. All right? Because the average person is what? Not knowledgeable. Isn't studying. Isn't deep diving. So somebody can come out here and say, put two words together. And you're like, yeah, Erica, did you hear this guy? And y'all send me his picture and I'll be like, he's a goof. Why are you showing me this? Why are you showing me this? This guy too, you know, the Nigerian cutting up, right? SEC got him. Again, you know, let me get out of here. I've talked about scallywags enough. I've scallywagged it out. Now, this is one scallywag that I think is okay. This is okay scallywag because they can always turn this left or right. Okay, here you go.
Thing I do is rip everything out. I strip this bus completely down. It had to be like 1,000 screws I collected, and most of the walls I had to cut out. Yes, I took all this to the recycling, and in total I got maybe $211. Here's baby Izzy sleep at home, and yes, our bus is completely insulated. We didn't have to do a lot of wood runs because we had a local guy who owned a wood shop, and he sold our wood to us for very cheap. And a lot of times when we were working on the bus, we did have Izzy, but he's always been a cool baby, so it was fine. We got straight to the building. We built a 9-foot bench. We're going to put a table in front of it that will also drop down into a bed. And then we started working on the kitchen, and we finished the dinette too. We put up our first interior wall. All our electricals ran behind the walls. We painted the bus blue, and we called it the Blue Pearl. Installed a water inlet. We also installed our countertops. And right here, this is what we have so far. Our bus is almost done. We just have a few little things to do. Quick rundown, we got 2 diesel heaters that keep the entire bus warm. Dinette and bench has a bunch of space for storage. We have a working refrigerator. We have an oven stove combo. We have hot and cold running water. We have 2 max air fans in the ceiling, one in the front, one in the back. This is our bathroom that's almost finished. I just got to grout the shower and then seal the floor. We also have 2 TVs in the bus, one in the front and one in the back. Underneath each bunk bed, there's storage for a week's worth of clothes. And this right here is how we monitor our 2,750 watts of solar. Everybody has a fast charging station with a day/night light. Underneath me and my wife's bed, there's a 100-gallon freshwater tank. And this right here is where me and my wife sleeps. This whole spot back here is a mattress. Right there is our other max air fan and our TV. All we gotta do is finish the floors and do a little electrical and we're done. But as always, I thank you for watching. Please like, share, and follow, and have a blessed day.
Okay, so I have no problem with this family. This is family. It's a black family. It's 6 of them, 4 kids, 2 adults. At the end of the day, listen, I jokingly call this scallywag behavior. I'm okay with them wanting to ride around in a bus. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with them homeschooling their kids. But most people, when they do this lifestyle, they eventually go buy some land, right? I'm just being nice. They go buy some land and they go build a kind of a homestead because that's where they are financially. Unless they want to go do something else. Right? So this type of scallywag behavior I'm okay with. It's not the end of the world. It's not. So, again, same thing here with this guy. Don't do the online MBA. Go ahead and get in tech sales. Erica, but all these companies are laying off. These companies are laying off. I promise you, there are still remote positions hiring for 50K, 60K, 70K right now as we speak. People just don't like sales. That's all. Listen, here's your options as this year comes up. All right. You're going to be learning some type of sales. You're going to be learning some type of trade. You're going to be in office or out of office, as I said. Again, when it comes to business, this is my last part. Mobile home, flipping houses, building houses, digital business, event business, middleman to millions business, consulting, coaching, construction company. Just the 4 things you need a must-have: PayPal, Stripe, Facebook, YouTube, apps. How do people reach you? Do they freak out when you're not available? Number 2, subscription, reoccurring service, keep customers. I know people right now who, I'm going to cut your lawn. I'm going to come back in the winter and do this and leaves. And they have a reoccurring thing that just keeps on going. Results make money. Money is tied to results. Okay. Number 4 is marketing and sales. Now I've been showing y'all on the YouTube channel. I was in a Zapier commercial. Zapier is a $190 million company that came and asked Erica Williams to be in a commercial, and y'all have seen it all over. And all it did was connect all your apps. So, your company is having all this integration problems. They just connected all your apps. They collected all your click funnels, all that stuff. They did super. Kadira did a great job on Zapier, right? It's a no-brainer. That's it. That's the 4 you need for your business, right? Because really all you're doing is leads are coming in. You're talking to customers. You're selling to customers. You're building for customers. And you're building for yourself. That's it. That's the magic. Zoom is hiring for 80K right now. There you go. There you go. Right? I know a data science and tech who got a CPA, opened an accounting firm, also wrote in Home Depot Plumbing, and has HVAC certification program. There you go. With the skills he has, they shouldn't be starting. That's the facts. If your husband can build a whole freaking bus, he should be able to have enough construction work. Like, really, I would love to talk to that brother and be like, if you just build 1 house a year, baby, in Florida, some of these places, you'll make $100,000 to $200,000 a year. Just building 1 house a year. I don't know their debt. I don't know their credit. But with those type of skills, that family should never be hungry, and that family shouldn't have to live on a bus. If they want to live on a bus, cool, great. The kids are little. They won't be bothered by it. But I just want you to understand, like, they don't have to, right? They don't have to. But, again, people, you're going to see a lot of crazy behavior the next couple of years. And as cheap as I said Thailand was, this video right here, I just want to show this, the last scallywag problem. I'm going to leave it alone.
What do you think the problem is?
Well, what do you think?
The tourism is very easy. Some of Europeans that don't like Russian.
Some of the people don't like Chinese, some people don't like India. And that is too much.
How many guests here right now?
2 rooms.
2 rooms out of how many?
20.
Out of 20. And I think that's indicative of all the resorts. So you're talking about a 10% occupancy.
Yes.
Hey, Bruce, you're the manager, right?
Yeah.
Which nationality is the most difficult tourist?
Oh, mostly Israeli.
Difficult.
They want everything for free.
Free. Israel or India? Israel.
Israel.
Really?
Yeah. And India people like, they push them like they're big boss here.
How can Thailand bring tourists back?
We have no idea. And we don't know when will that happen.
Are the people concerned?
Yes. Everyone.
Their economy, their livelihood?
Yes.
This is called the Scene Cabana, but I cannot even tell if they're open or closed. I think because there's nobody here. The door's locked. Oh, there's a guy here. Hello. Hello. Are you open? Are you open? Yes?
Yeah, we close.
What about the hotel?
Yeah, hotel.
Where are the tourists? Where are they?
Where are the tourists?
Yeah.
Uh,
So they are so quiet that they, in fact, just closed the whole hotel. Worse than COVID.
Worse than COVID.
I was at that restaurant at lunch, and they told me it's very quiet for the season.
Unusually weirdly quiet.
Yeah. Maybe the tourists are fleeing from Thailand to Vietnam instead.
Where are the people?
No.
Huh?
No people.
Why? Where are they? Just me. It's just me, guys. I feel like I'm the lone survivor, you know? I'm lost on an island, but except anyone who works on the islands.
Why is Thailand so quiet, or some places so quiet? Because it's about the economy. We have a bad economy. Yeah?
In the world or in Thailand?
In Thailand now. Very bad for all people. Everything is go higher.
Okay, now why did I show y'all this? Y'all like, well, Eric, what I gotta do? Why are you showing me this? I want you to understand, like, when y'all say, I can't wait to leave America. Maybe that's what you leave into. All the places that were super cheap, if somebody's there and it's super cheap to be there, they're scraping by to stay there. Okay. Wealthy folks are going to be in the mix in other countries. So, yeah, there's more people. There may be some people going to Vietnam right now. There may be some of that stuff too. But somebody had just brought up Thailand to us the other day, and they were like, oh, it's the best place ever. I know these people who are actual half Thai. They ain't trying to rush to go home. So why are you trying to go to their house? You know what I'm saying? Some stuff just sound crazy when y'all be talking. Let me finish this part. My homegirl bought a bus and converted to a successful party bus here in Houston. They could have did that. True. I just don't know any woman with kids actively choosing to live on a bus. It's called parole drift. It's basically where people who would have been formerly middle class, upper middle class, the reality is they cannot afford to live like they want to live. So now it's an adventure. We want to be on the bus. She may be do it to support the spouse, but believe me, it's probably not her ideal of a bus life. Yeah, probably not. The whole world sends them money. I'm not surprised at their behavior. You already know. The bus guy needs some skills. He's already on the internet. Probably could sell the plans on how to make a bus like his. Yep. And if they hit the social media right, they'll have 100,000 for the year's over. The investor buy those business for pennies on a dollar for sure. Passport bros are getting drugged and robbed. That's everywhere. That's everywhere. Okay. That's everywhere. All right. So, but look, let me just get on out of here. I want to thank y'all for watching the channel, hanging out here. I know this was a long one, but at the end of the day, I can't put stuff in 10-minute sound bites. That doesn't work for me. I don't know, if you can, great, more power to you. But at the end of the day, this is why I just tell people, like, there's levels to business, and a lot of people are not ready for it. And I saw this comment. I want to say, yes, his own people are going to call him a cotta for not sending money back home. Just play the game. Send money back to your family. No, not if they've had bad behavior. Life is giving them the consequences. No one, like, people don't talk about it. Most people try to save the older black guy. When they say Papa was a Rolling Stone and the daddy comes back, I've seen people have 35-year anniversary of Mr. Elder, and the man been gone all these years with some other woman. We got a lady in our neighborhood over here. Her husband died at a heart attack. She got his trucks and his other cars in the yard. She took him from the girlfriend's house he'd been living with for 10 years. And she just told my mom, well, yeah, he did me bad, but in the end, he didn't do me so bad. Okay. However, you gotta, convince yourself it wasn't that bad. You know what I'm saying? He's telling the truth. It's all about how you dress and carry yourself, for sure. Oh, you already know. Cowboy hat. People come up to you. So, but Joe Rogan and them are mad because of gambling issues. They want to do, widespread gambling and wildness. But Joe Rogan's also went from there is no God to now he believes in God. So, take that with a grain of salt. China renewing, buying crops from US, but only buying from black farmers. If they did that, hilarious. Hilarious. Concord, a good thing about Concord is it's not covertly racist as the rest of the Bay Area. That's unfortunate. All right. The same people complain about not getting SNAP for their kids. If they show their pantry, it'll be full of nonsense, sugar snacks. Yeah, we all know that. Listening in from the West Coast, this brings to mind the unspoken nuance of Ralph Lauren Oak Bluff ad campaign. Facts. I tell people it's class over race. They're not ready for it. Webull can I talk? Webull and Robinhood are the stocks like DraftKings and FanDuel are the sports. Exactly. Medicines in the plants every day. Every day. People don't want to talk about accountability for their bad decisions. They turn and play victim. Oh, every day. Every day. I know what you mean when you send people market-based content. Yeah, they can't. They zone out. I'm picking on people. I really ain't picking on people now. You already know. So anyway, that's what I have for y'all today. You get the gist of what I was trying to say in this whole show. I know it's a long show, but at the end of the day, we're gonna have the food stamp crisis should be a wake up call. I talk about Glenn Beck's book, Broke, where he had all these 400 footnotes. Obama had talked about the debt and the budget and stuff was gonna get cut, and people forgot. They forgot about it. So no problem, just let it rock. So anyways, this is your girl Erica, Classy Climb Blog. Good luck out there. If you've we have some live training in the land grab course this week, and we have some live training in the Digital Liberty Warriors and Middleman to Millions, because this is the time. January is going to come in and everybody's going to want to get work done on their house all of a sudden. I've seen it. Trust me. A new year, new you. They've been holding off, waiting for the economy to crash, and it crashed. So now they're going to find some money to get their house painted or do what they need to do. People do it all the time. So brace yourselves, prepare. You guys have a great day, and hopefully we'll have the video out from the event here pretty soon. Later. You've probably been seeing these commercials for Middleman to Millions course. What is Middleman to Millions? We're teaching so many people how to have service businesses. The upcoming year, one of the fastest growing businesses you will see are service businesses and digital businesses. Why is that? Because so many things need repairs, need maintenance, and guess what? We have a shortage of men and also women who could do things. Listen, I'm not the best with a hammer, but I know I can gather a crew of people to get things done, and that's what I've done with 2 of my service businesses. And that's what I'll be teaching if you check us out in the Middleman to Millions course. And look forward to us on the road with Digital Liberty Tour 2024. It's Erica Williams.